Hey guys, my name is Leah Thompson and I'm the founder of Legacy the Label that's launching this coming spring. The other day I posted a story and I asked if you guys had any questions about the upcoming brand, and I'm gonna go back and read through some of your questions. Okay, so this is what my story looked like. I said any questions you have about Legacy / are curious to know more about, and you guys answered asked some questions. So I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna answer some. Okay, number one, why the name? So when I first wanted to start this brand, I kept seeing the word legacy everywhere. And I loved just the sound of it. I loved that it was a strong word and it just really stood out to me. I feel like God really highlighted it to me. And I was just praying into the brand, what it could look like, all the things. And it just seemed to all flow together so well of what I wanted the vision of the brand to be, what I wanted the brand to stand for. And I just think there's such a strong just meaning behind legacy, thinking about the generational legacies of families. And I just think of so much the reason of me wanting to start this brand is rooted back to my grandma and her teaching me to sew when I was a little girl. And then when I got into surfing and was always in a bathing suit, I remember I used to actually cut up my old bathing suits and re-sew them to make new ones. And so that just was all the way back from my grandma teaching me how to sew. And there's this one definition of legacy that I found and I absolutely love it. And it's just such a powerful name to me, but it says to leave a legacy means to put a stamp on the future, to make a contribution to future generations. And I just love that so much, the idea of what is the legacy that I'm leaving behind, because I want to make a stamp on the future. I want to make a contribution to future generations, and I don't want it to just be for me or to build up my name, but how can I make an impact and leave something behind for the people that come after me? And I just think about for even my kids one day, of the legacy that is being left for them. I want it to be something meaningful and to stand for something. So all that to say, I really want to call the brand Legacy, but I added the label to kind of set it apart and differentiate it as a clothing, resort wear, swimwear brand. And it's definitely starting off as a swimwear, resort wear, cover-ups brand, but hopefully one day I'll branch more into dresses and clothing and all the things. Okay, question number 2 is, what manufacturer did you use? So I am manufacturing in Colombia, Medellin, Colombia. And I just went down there for the first time a couple weeks ago with my friend Madison. She went with me because she can speak some Spanish and she helped translate a lot. I can speak very little basic words of Spanish, and that is such a big desire of mine to grow in speaking Spanish because I think it's such a beautiful language. It's so helpful to know, and I just want to be able to communicate. But yeah, so it's being produced, manufactured in Colombia, and I'm so thankful for the people I'm working with. There's actually a really cool story behind it. That was the biggest gap, was me trying to find the manufacturer for the past couple years, and I moved forward with one outside of LA, and had talked to one in China, and just had talked to a few different ones, and none of them really worked out. And I'm so thankful it didn't, because I just know it wasn't meant to be. And God's timing is so perfect in all of it. I had flown to Miami Swim Week this past summer with my cousin who owns a store in North Carolina. And she introduced me to a woman she worked with another brand who used to be in the swim industry for 7 years. And she's from Colombia. She introduced me to the manufacturer I'm now working with. And she had no reason to help me other than being friends with my cousin. So I believe it was such a God thing. There was so much favor on it. And she had gone and met with 5 different manufacturers for me and gotten all their information and all the things. So anyways, moved forward with this one manufacturer, went down, toured it. They're awesome, such kind people, and just use very sustainable options in all that they do. And one thing that I learned when I went down there that I didn't know, even when deciding to work with them, is that there's over 900 employed single women that their husbands have left them and they have children, so they're trying to provide for their families. And I just thought it was so cool. They actually find these women, they train them, they teach them how to sew, how to do the whole manufacturing process, and provide them jobs to be able to provide for their kids. And that's such a big part of my heart, is just being able to help women in ways like that. And hopefully in other ways down the road. I have a few ideas, but I just thought it was so cool because it really does connect to like what my heart really burns for in a lot of ways, and that I stepped into it not even knowing that side of the manufacturing. So that was a major blessing. Question number 3. Will you offer different cut bottoms? 100% yes, all different cuts. I'm starting with 3 different single bottoms in the first, 2 different cut bottoms, I think, in the first collection. There's another one coming that's dropping like a month or 2 later. But the first cut is like a V, like kind of cheeky back. And then I also have a full coverage option. That's really cute. And also, like, I've had a bunch of different body types try them on, and they love both of them. The cheeky ones, they're not like a full-on thong or anything, but it's good for suntan if you like to suntan and just lay out and you don't want like the full coverage tan line. But full coverage bottom is great. I love how they're not baggy like a diaper, because some bathing suits can tend to get like that. And they're just very flattering, great like rise in the front. And there's a high waist bottom that's coming like a month or 2 later. That's awesome. I'm obsessed with it. I love me a good high waist bottom. And I've had quite a few people asking if I could do more full coverage options, because like the skimpy bathing suits is something that like a lot of brands have just been full on doing the skimpy stuff, and girls are ready for some fuller coverage, and I'm with you. I'm all for a little bit of cheekiness, but we need to bring back some of the classy. Okay, what inspired you to create Legacy? So many things. It goes back to my grandma. I typed a little bit of this on the website, but my grandma teaching me how to sew, one major thing. And my grandma was just such an all-around classy woman and inspired me in so many ways, and was just always dressed so nice and elegant and all the things. And so I just remember that from her. And also everything she wore was just very like high quality. It's very high quality pieces, and she just embodied so much of what I aspire to be like. And anyways, she just like set such a high standard for me, and it's actually whose ring I'm wearing. But she was the most amazing woman ever, and I just accredit like so much of who I am to her. But another reason is Megan, who is such a good family friend of ours. She's like an aunt, sister, all in one to me, and she loves fashion. She loves keeping up with all the fashion trends, and she's just like one of the most stylish people I know. And she lived with my parents when I was born. And I remember, well, I don't remember this, but they tell me stories of when I was little. I would go in her room and I'd like put on all her bags and just like try on her stuff and walk around. I'd be like bling, 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 bling. And she's like such a style inspiration to me, and just fashion inspiration, all the things. But those are like 2 people that really inspired a lot, I feel like, behind this brand. But just as I grew up, I love surfing, I love the beach, I love the ocean, but I also love fashion. And I've always wanted to combine the 2 of creating high quality swimwear that's fashionable and functional. So like cute enough that you could lay out in and get a suntan, but also functional enough that you could surf and like, if you have kids, chase around your kids, all the things, and it's not gonna like fall off. So I've always just had a desire to mix the 2. My biggest heart is just wanting women to feel confident in their own skin, in their body, and just they put on suits and clothing and cover-ups that they like really just feel are high quality. And I definitely just want to mix the 2 cultures of fashion and surf. Okay, question number 4. What is your favorite piece? My favorite piece from the collection, that's really hard. I think there's a few different things. It depends on what you're really going for. I'm obsessed with the Zion surf suit that's coming out. I feel like that's definitely a major statement piece. And it just, honestly, that suit kind of embodies me a lot. It's a design that I've had sketched out a really long time in my journal. And it's this long sleeve surf suit. It has cutouts right here, and like a little bit lower neckline, great coverage in the back. It's like very open back. It's just a beautiful silhouette, and it's, I feel like, just such a stamp on the brand of like, this has been an idea in the back of my head for so long. But So I think the Zion Surfsuit, the Joanna one piece, that's the belted one. I've gotten so much positive feedback about that. Everybody's obsessed with it. It fits so good, really like hugs you in, and then it's just so flattering on chest and great coverage in the back. The material's great. Honestly, the quality, like the material, I'm so pleased with for everyone. I love the ribbed fabric is my favorite. And then the two colorways, I'm starting with an emerald green and a black. When will we be able to shop? Long story short, end of April. I don't have a specific date yet, but ballpark end of April, and I will keep you guys updated on the exact launch day. What system are you using for scanning? I'm using Shopify, which everybody's recommended Shopify, and it's something I still kind of need to figure out. But I've heard that it's pretty self-explanatory, and I ordered the barcode maker and all the things that I need. So honestly, just need to figure it out. But I think it should be pretty easy. What was your inspiration for the first line? Great question. I love this question. My inspiration for the first collection was I wanted something that really captured and embodied what the brand was going to stand for. And I just love, when I think of green, it makes me think of the beginning, honestly. And I was trying to think also, when I say the word legacy, what was a color that came to my mind? And green was one of those colors, the emerald green, the darker, richer green. It was just like, it seemed very classy and elegant in the sense of like, yeah, it just seemed elevated to me. And when I think of green, you think of grass and flowers and all the things in the garden. I thought a lot about the garden, and when you think about in the Bible where it all starts in the garden, and I loved just that beginning collection embodying the green, the first, the preeminence, all the things. And so it's just a color I kept going back to, and the styles, there's a couple just timeless basic styles that I'm really excited about, and then there's also some new elevated kind of funky styles that yeah, I'm just really excited about, and I think it adds a great mixture to both. Okay, another question, how much will it cost? So it's gonna be for separates, top or bottom, it's gonna be in the 60s, 70s range. And then for one pieces, anywhere from 110 to, I think, in the 110s, 120s range. How long has this taken you? I feel like this has taken me honestly a lifetime, because it's been in the works. I've dreamed about it for so long, but probably like actually action steps of manufacturing, seriously talking to people, getting help for the past year. So I don't know, it feels like the past 3 years, but maybe the past year, like actively each day doing something. Is Miami Swim Week a typical place to find suppliers and manufacturers? That's what I've heard. I remember being so lost of like where I should find a manufacturer, where could I, all the things. And when I read online the best place to, quite a few websites said Miami Swim Week. And so that's what gave me the decision or idea to fly down with my cousin. And thankfully I did, because I ended up meeting somebody. But honestly, she like took me around to each booth that she was shopping at, and she was just like, my cousin's starting a swimwear line, like if you guys know a manufacturer, like that's what she's looking for. So it was very much so like she just threw it out there, and through word of mouth got connected. But if I wasn't actively talking to people and voicing it, like it would have been hard. I wouldn't have known where to start, because it wasn't like there's a dedicated section of like, these are the manufacturers. So if you're looking for a manufacturer, like specifically for Swim Week or probably any other clothes, and you like go to a trade show, I feel like you just have to start talking to people, and you just have to ask questions and all the things. And it's just by word of mouth. And also I feel like word of mouth connections are the best. They're the most trustworthy. And yeah. How does it differ from other swim brands? That's a great question. And one thing, I touched on it in the beginning, but I feel like there's so many brands that either cater like directly to surfing, or just like don't really understand surfing, but they want to market the surf beach lifestyle. And I feel like since I've lived it for so long, I've tried on so many different bathing suits. I did a year-long internship with Rip Curl and like really got to see the ins and outs and learn about how to like make a bathing suit. I want to produce high quality bathing suits that you feel good in, look good in, and also are fully able to function surfing or chasing babies around on the beach, whatever it is. And I want to mix the fashion and surf culture and just combined it. I love how Cynthia Rowley does it. Like she has the high fashion side of things, but she also has the surf side of things, but it's just like a lot of crazy funky colors and patterns, and I'm definitely the neutrals girly. And so I just want to do it in a very elegant, classy, neutrals way. And just go back to the roots of like, I love old school fashion, how like the old Vogue magazines, they were just so classy and like really just embodied so much confidence to me. Like I see pictures of my grandma too at the beach, and she just wore these beautiful one pieces and looked so beautiful. And I feel like as culture has just strayed into the skimpier suits and the less fabric and everything, it's just like made girls feel like they have to be something and dress a way that makes them look beautiful, or like what they would feel like is beautiful to other people, when really I just want to go back to the core of like just being classy and like having that deep confidence inside of you. The sun just got so bright, without like having to reveal and show a bunch of skin. And then I want it to be high quality suits that you're not paying an arm and a leg for. Like it's definitely I want it to be marketed because it is on the high end of things, but I don't want it to be like $300 for a bathing suit, because gosh, I was literally looking at some of the inspo brands of just like some of the brands that I love, and they're so expensive. And even for like one top or one bottom, it was like $100, or just like over $100. It was actually crazy. And I was asking my friends like how much they usually spend on bathing suits, and a lot of them were saying like they would tell me one price and then they would go look at the website and they're like, actually I spent a lot more than I thought I did on that bathing suit. And like without even realizing it, they just spent so much. And so I just like, I want you to get your worth out of the bathing suit and not feel like it's breaking the bank to buy a bathing suit. So I like, I'm really happy with my price range and where I was able to put it, of like the 60s, 70s range for a top or bottom, because I feel like that really embodies the high quality category, but it's not to a price limit that's ridiculous. So I just think the high fashion surf, like functionality, but also just beautiful timeless pieces for a good price point is something that really like sets me apart as a brand, and I'm just really excited about it. One thing that I really want the brand to be set apart for in the industry is just the love and generosity and the standard that the brand holds itself to. I really want to keep just strong core values of, right now it's just me like doing everything, all the categories, but one day when I do have people working for the brand, I want strong character and morals instilled in everybody that's representing the brand. And I think being generous, it's such a huge part of my heart and something that I care deeply about, and I want the brand to represent it in the industry, because I think the fashion industry as a whole can get a bad rap. And just when you think about it, it's like the hustle and the fast fashion and the trends and the ins and outs and all the stuff, and like who can get bigger and all the things. And just such a core part of my heart is to be able to give back, and I never want it to be a surplus like to the brand. I just want to live with like such open hands with the brand. And so I think just being set apart in the products, the quality, the price, but also being set apart just as the character and core of the brand, of being a generous brand, being a brand that really like loves their customers and is able to serve them well. And yeah, just be able to grow as a brand in the industry, as a brand that really people are able to look at and just think about legacy of like, okay, they're making an impact, they're doing something, they're really just doing it differently than a lot of brands in the fashion industry. And that's the goal. That is the core at my heart, is just to be a set apart brand. So excited for everything that's in store. Those are all the questions that I'm gonna answer today. Maybe I'll do this again if you guys have more questions, but thank you so much for asking. I'm so excited that you guys are on this journey with me, and I will keep you updated with all the steps along the way, and love you guys so much.